Hi everyone, I hope you're really well. Welcome, or indeed welcome back to the channel. If you are new, don't forget to hit subscribe because today I'm going through my very first Q&A. So I've asked a few times recently about if you guys have any questions for me, because I feel as though my channel has grown quite quickly and some of you guys may have some questions for me, whether you want to get to know me better or something you've always wanted to ask me, whatever it is. So I thought, right, let's have a go at doing a Q&A. This is the first one I've ever done and I'm very excited. I don't know how long this is going to turn out to be. Hopefully it won't be too long. So the first question I've got here is from Instagram and it's from V Bluebird, and they would like to know, thinking back on all of your foundation tests so far, if you had to choose just one for the best natural look which also offers good longevity, which would it be? Thank you for your consideration. I have tested a lot of foundations. Even before I started YouTube, I have always just loved messing around with foundations and trying to find the perfect one. And I am still looking, in case you hadn't already guessed. I think it does massively depend on your skin type. My skin type is obviously oily. For me personally, I would probably pick L'Oreal Infallible Matte, because although you can really build it up and make it look very flawless and make it look quite obvious that you've got quite a mask of makeup on, it is actually a beautiful one to be able to use in a small amount just to give you a really nice layer of coverage. And it mixes with things really nicely as well. So if you want to mix it in with a little bit of moisturiser or something, just to try and take away some of the coverage, then of course you can do that, and it stops it from being quite so mattifying as well. If oiliness wasn't an issue for you, then I would suggest IT Cosmetics CC Plus Cream, because that stuff is amazing. That is what I reach for if I'm going away somewhere and I don't want to have to take too many products away with me, because I don't need to use moisturiser with it. I can literally just put it straight on my face after I've washed it. It's fantastic, and it just gives you this lovely, yes, my skin does look like this, honest, because it does still show some of your imperfections, but it just evens everything else out in such a way that you can kind of get away with it looking like it is actually your skin, but better. And it does actually say that on the packaging too. So I hope I was able to answer that okay. Those two foundations are probably my holy grail foundations as well. I think I'll stick to Instagram for a minute and I'll answer all the questions that I've had on Instagram. So the next one I've got here, and I'm not going to try and pronounce your username because I know I'm going to get it wrong. So I will put your username on screen. But you would like to know, in your opinion, what is the best pore minimiser? That is hard because I still haven't really found it yet. I do tend to suffer from pores sort of in this area and on my nose, and I tend to grab products that minimise shine, and I kind of forget that I have a bit of a pore situation going on as well, and it's not until I'm applying something that I think, oh yeah, I have these pores that I also need to deal with. So I haven't actually found a product yet that I really like. I know a lot of people like the Benefit Pore Minimiser. I did not like that. Did not get on with it at all. I hear really good things about the NYX Pore Filler Primer, which is on a very long list of things that I would like to purchase, along with NYX Angel Veil Primer as well. I basically have so many things that I want to buy, but of the primers that I do have, in terms of how they deal with the pore situation, I do really like Hourglass's Mineral Veil Primer. If I'm reaching for that one, I know that that's kind of the last resort primer because none of my others have worked that well. And if you want to know a little bit more about my primer stash, I did recently talk about what primers I've got in my most recent foundation update video, so check that video out if you haven't already. But Hourglass Mineral Veil is at the moment probably the best primer I have. It's just a really nice lightweight texture which goes into the skin really nicely, and everything that goes on top of it looks lovely. It's just ridiculously expensive, so that's why I'm keeping everything crossed. And I know that a few of us have talked in the comments recently about NYX Angel Veil versus Hourglass Mineral Veil, that they are a dupe, and I have heard that, so I really want to get it just to make a comparison, because obviously there is a big price difference there. Sorry, that probably wasn't the most helpful answer. I am still looking. But if anyone watching has any suggestions of good pore minimizing products, let us know in the comments because that would be fantastic. The last question I have from Instagram is from Makeup Lover 1983, but I know this person is actually Julie Barber. So hi Julie, and she would like to know, where do you hope to see your YouTube channel going, or is it a hobby that you have undertaken? Well, I first got into YouTube after I had my little boy, particularly the beauty videos that are out there. I'd never really known that they existed before. I obviously knew about YouTube and looking up cat videos and silly stuff like that and music, but I'd never really looked at the beauty community before. And it was just like falling down a rabbit hole of discovering all these amazing people. And I remember one of the first people I found and totally binge watched was Lisa Eldridge, who is phenomenal. Hopefully she shouldn't need too much of an introduction, but if you're not familiar with Lisa Eldridge, she is a makeup artist. She's also, I think it's the creative director of Lancome now. Her videos are not only informative in terms of how to apply makeup like a normal person, as well as if you want to go for something a bit more dramatic too. She also loves the history of makeup, and I just loved watching what she produced. And then from watching Lisa, it just kind of spiraled into finding lots of kind of regular people, I suppose, people that aren't necessarily, you know, makeup artists or the creative director of a massive brand or something. And the more I started watching, the more I thought, I really want to do that myself. There was just something about it that compelled me to try. And I still can't kind of believe that I did it, to be honest, because it is an absolutely crazy thing to sit down, talk to a camera and upload it to the world for everyone to see. I think a lot of people thought I was absolutely nuts when I first mentioned about doing this, and initially I didn't tell very many people at all, because I think I thought I was a little bit nuts too. Fast forward like over a year later, I'm still here, I'm still uploading 2 videos a week, and I absolutely love it. It definitely started out as a hobby, and it still is, to be fair, although at times it can feel like I do actually have a job, because it is quite a process of filming, editing, uploading, all that side of it. But that's the flip side of the other reason why I wanted to do this, is the fact that I haven't not had a job, a regular job, in such a long time in my life. This is the longest career break that I've ever had, and as much as I love looking after him and our home and providing a lovely environment for us to live in, I need something more, and YouTube is the something more in my life. So I suppose this was a very long-winded answer, Julie, but ultimately, yeah, if I could turn this into a job and earn an income from it, amazing, because I still haven't actually figured out how I'm going to get a job and work that around the school holidays and all that kind of stuff. It just melts my brain. So yes, if I could turn this into my job, I would be absolutely over the moon. Moving on to YouTube now for some questions, and I've got a question here from Izzy, and she has said, bit of a tricky one, but what makeup look says iconic British style to you? As you're British and know a lot about makeup, it would be interesting to hear your perspective. Well, I must admit, I don't feel like I know as much as a lot of other YouTubers. I still feel as though I don't really know anything at all. Sometimes I'll watch other people and I just think, oh my goodness, I know nothing. I know absolutely nothing. What am I doing making these videos for you guys? Because there are other people out there who are doing a much better job than me. So thank you for thinking that I know a lot about makeup, Izzy, but I really don't. In terms of iconic British style, that is a really hard question, because instantly what comes to mind for some reason is quite a 60s look, if you know what I mean. But I don't know why that is necessarily British and why I thought of it. But in terms of iconic British style, I just don't think we really have one anymore. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I think our country has become so diverse now, and particularly with platforms like Instagram and YouTube, people are generally getting more and more confident with makeup, how to use it, what's available out there. There's also never been so many different types of makeup to choose from in all different price brackets as well. So I feel like a lot of people experiment and have fun with it, which is really exciting. So I don't really think we have much of an iconic style anymore, but like I said, I don't actually think that's a bad thing either. Next up, I have a question here from Den B, and you would like to know if I prefer to shop for products online or would I rather hit Boots, Superdrug and the department stores in person? That's a really, really great question, because at the moment, because of where I live and I am quite rural, so it takes a while to get anywhere where there are lots of decent shops to shop around in, I have to shop online a lot. Because of that, it means that I have to spend a lot of time researching colours and swatches, and it makes the shopping process feel like it takes forever. So in some respects, I really actually don't like it. But then having said that, I love the convenience of online shopping, because you might be able to find a sneaky code to get a little bit of a discount. I can do it in the bath. I can stay up really late in bed and shop, and yes, I have done that recently when there was a sale on. I have many wondrous things coming to me in the post, which is another reason why I love online shopping, because of the fact that it's coming to you. Although that can also be a negative as well, because sometimes it can take a really long time. I think if I really had to choose, if we had a Sephora really close to where I am, of course, I would love to go in there and just touch all the beautiful things, look at colours. I feel like I'd be able to make a much better informed decision in terms of actually buying the right product instead of wasting a ton of money, which I feel like I do a lot of the time, because I'm not sure whether I'm truly going to like something or not. Plus, I believe Sephora are really good with samples as well. You can pretty much ask them for anything, and they're really good when it comes to makeup lessons and stuff. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is I really want to go to a Sephora, but I think at the moment I am just going to have to settle for doing my online shopping, because it's much more convenient. And to be honest, as much as I say I would like to go to these places, I am not that far away from a big city centre where there are lots of department stores. There's a big Boots, there's a big Superdrug, but I just get, you know, the shopping fever where you're walking around and you just can't face it anymore. But I might actually go in next month and have a play with a few things, because it does feel like I haven't gone into the city centre for such a long time, so it's well overdue. Next up from YouTube, I have this question from Sally, and she has actually asked quite a few different things here. So she's saying, I'm guessing viewers would like to know things like your age, if you're married, have children, pets, fears, hobbies, and things you hate, for example, pet peeves, and things that I love. What made you want to start YouTube? Do I get any hate mail? Places that I've been that have inspired me, or people that inspire you. And then of course, no-brainer, beauty stroke skincare and or things you used when you were a teen that you think might have helped with your skincare or beauty today. Phew, that was a lot. Yes, it was a lot of questions. Okay, you know when I said that this video wasn't going to be that long? Right, let's tackle this in chunks. So my age, that's obviously a really straightforward one. It is my birthday next month. I always forget how old I am. I know that sounds ridiculous. I usually have to ask my husband, and I don't think it's because I'm in denial of how old I am. I think I've just got to the point where either I don't care or I still think I'm a lot younger than what I actually am. But I am currently 37, and next month I will be 38. And yes, I am married, and yes, we have a little boy who will be 4 in December. Yes, we have a pet. We have a black working Cocker Spaniel, and her name is Luna. She used to feature in the background of a lot of my older videos, but I think she's actually become bored of my voice now, or she's become camera shy, because as soon as I start setting up, she knows it's like, oh, here she goes again, I'm out of here, and she'll literally disappear into the bedroom or something, and then when I finish she comes back in again. So I don't know what she's trying to tell me, but there you go. Pet peeves and things that I hate. Oh my goodness, I could probably fill a video just of pet peeves alone, and my mind has gone totally blank. I know I definitely have some though, so I will think about it and I'll come back to that one in a second. Things that I love so many things as well. As much as I have lots of pet peeves, I have lots of loves as well. Obviously, it goes without saying that I love and adore and worship my family. We live a very contented and happy lifestyle, and I'm very grateful for that. We live in a beautiful part of the country as well, although today it's raining. A week ago, it was boiling. Welcome to Britain. But just talking about some random stuff that I love, I have a real love for trees. And I don't really know where it came from, but we've got a big park where we live where my boy loves to go, and we take the dog for a walk. And they planted a whole row of trees, and I can't remember when they planted them, but there is a plaque saying, but it's obviously a very long time ago because they are huge. And there's something about really big, beautiful, majestic trees that offer you shade, and you sit underneath them and you can hear the wind just rustling through the leaves. There's just something beautiful about especially really big, beautiful trees. Other things that I love being near water. I was very lucky that I grew up near water, and we used to spend a lot of time on it in boats and all sorts of things. I also really love swimming as well, so anything to do with water really, and I am there. And I suppose two other random things that I love, because I could go on for much longer about this, is I absolutely love listening to podcasts. If I'm doing the housework, I love just listening to all sorts of different ones really. I've got a film one that I like to listen to. There's also one called Stuff You Should Know, which I'm currently cherry picking my way through because I only discovered it in the last year or so, and their back catalogue is huge, and I quite like to start from as early on as I can and just cherry pick my way through what they've done, and I've still not caught up. But I've learnt so much from listening to those podcasts because they talk about so many interesting things. They'll just pick a specific subject and talk about it. But if I'm not listening to my podcasts, then I absolutely love listening to film soundtracks. I'm a massive film lover, and I just love the fact that you can then listen to the soundtrack and it reminds you of the film as well. What made me want to start YouTube? I've answered that one already. Do I get any hate mail? I don't yet, but I know that it's going to happen, and it makes me really sad to kind of have to mentally prepare myself for it. And I quite often see people say, you need thicker skin, you shouldn't be on YouTube if you can't handle the negativity, blah blah blah. I can kind of understand that to a degree because we put ourselves out there, but at the end of the day, just because we put ourselves out there, it doesn't give people carte blanche to then come back and just say whatever the hell they want. Constructive criticism, fair enough, but when you read some comments where they're just nasty and hateful, and you just think to yourself, it's the shroud of being anonymous that has enabled you to do this. Because if you were sat face to face, or they could actually see your profile and knew who you were, then I just don't think people would be as cutting as they are. But I do hope that at some point it kind of implodes on itself and people are actually just a lot nicer and they realise that actually it's just not worth being horrible. So I haven't had any hate comments yet as such, although I did get a comment on one of my foundation review videos. It was one of the ordinary foundations because those videos did blow up, and obviously the more viral a video becomes, the more people see it, the more likely you are that you'll at least start getting a few horrible comments. And I did try and reply to this person, but I don't know whether they decided to delete their comment or not because I wasn't ever able to. But they said something along the lines of, for anyone watching this, skip to the 8-minute mark because up until then she is just waffling and waffling and waffling. And I constructed this amazing reply that was really nice, that went along the lines of, this is my style, if you don't like my style, there are lots of other YouTubers out there who perhaps don't waffle and they get straight down to business. But at the end of the day, it wasn't really 8 minutes of waffle, it was 8 minutes of actual information about the foundation. But I wasn't actually able to respond to that one anyway because the comment had disappeared. In terms of places I've been that have inspired me, I haven't really travelled all that much. I would definitely like to travel a lot more, but to be honest, I am such a homely person that I am happiest at home, so I get my inspiration from where I live. As long as I can look out and either see the countryside or maybe see a bit of water, then I'm very happy. In terms of people that have inspired me, I have watched a lot of YouTube content around some really difficult issues that people have wanted to talk about, whether it be mental illness or stuff that's going on their body, things that you just wouldn't necessarily sit down and broadcast to the world, and yet these people have. And all of those people inspire me. I am planning on doing some videos along the lines of what they've done, but it is going to take quite a lot of courage to do it, and I'm not sure I'm quite there yet, but I will do it. And then the last thing you asked was about when I was a teen, what I think I may have used that helped with your skincare and beauty today. Nothing. I treated my skin terribly when I was a teenager. I did suffer a little bit with spots. It wasn't too many, it was just a few sort of here and there. But the fact that I did have any at all, and I felt like a lot of my friends didn't, it made me use a lot of harsh products on my skin that did it no good. I think I also treated my skin quite badly as well by just being really complacent about it too and not looking after it. And you do take it for granted, and then one day you look in the mirror and you just think, blimey, my skin is suddenly looking quite old. I may be suffering from hyperpigmentation, a few laughter lines, some deeper wrinkles, and you just think, well, when did that happen? And it's not about trying to sort of turn back the clock and doing anything too drastic. I think you do need to embrace the aging process, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with really looking after your skin and investing in it a little bit more and just making it the best version of the skin that you could possibly ever have. So it's only really in the last couple of years that I've started to really pay attention to my skincare. So if anything, I would like to go back in time and have a word with myself. Next, I have a question from Silvery Moon, and you would like to know, if I could have any job in the world, what would I do? Oh my goodness, there are so many jobs. I am a dreamer by default. I absolutely love to plan, plot, imagine. I've always been like that. I just imagine what could be, really. I would definitely like to do something which gives me a lot of freedom, largely because of the fact that I am a mum, and obviously I need to be able to adapt around him and his needs, whilst at the same time fulfilling my own needs. I'm quite a creative person, so I would like something quite creative, and again, this is another reason why I love YouTube so much, because I just love the creative process. And actually editing, something I'd never done before, I've actually really enjoyed doing, and I'm completely self-taught with it. If I don't know how to do something, I will research it, I'll watch a lot of videos, I'll read a lot of articles. So I would say definitely something creative, but in terms of a specific, if we're talking kind of totally crazy dream job scenario, then it would probably be quite similar to what I'm doing now in terms of just being able to play with beauty stuff, play with hair care, skin care, that kind of thing. Although, actually, I take that back. No, my dream job would be, and I don't even think this job exists, but if I could just go to various different spas and test their facilities, a bit like a spa mystery shopper or something, that would be an amazing job, wouldn't it? Where you could just turn up one day and have a massage, or another day have a manicure, and maybe be a food critic as well, where you could just sit down and eat lots of lovely food, although then I would actually have to write up what I think about it, and I just want to eat it, to be honest. Next up, I have a question from Happy Colours, and you would like to know, when am I coming to Australia? And you've also asked if I'm keen to do a come shop with me video. Okay, so to answer your first question about Australia, I would love to go to Australia. It's one of the places that are on my kind of bucket list of places I'd like to visit, and unfortunately my bucket list consists of places that are ridiculously far away and generally ridiculously expensive too. Before me and my husband got married, we knew we wanted to get married abroad because, you know, family issues, and I did actually look really heavily into Australia because I really wanted to go see the Great Barrier Reef, and I created the most amazing itinerary around the Whitsundays, and basically it was just becoming eye-wateringly expensive. I'm sure we probably would have been able to do it cheaper if I'd have sat down and worked it out, but I basically had fallen in love with a few of the places that I wanted to visit, so I thought, right, if I can't go there, it's just not going to happen at all. So at some point in the future, I'd love to think that we would get out there, because I'd also really like to go to New Zealand as well. There's something about New Zealand that just looks beautiful. It reminds me a lot of this country as well, with a lot of rolling countryside. But my uncle is actually working in Australia at the moment. He's been out there for quite some time now. So I'm hoping that maybe if he actually settles out there, then we'd at least be able to get out there a little bit cheaper than what it was looking to be beforehand. But no pressure or anything to my uncle. And in terms of a shop with me video, I did ask about that just to clarify, because I'd never actually heard of a shop with me video. I think my understanding is that I literally take you guys shopping with me. Is that right? I am open to the idea of doing it. I haven't really done any sort of typical vlogging outside yet where I'm literally holding the camera, because I'm not sure how many people do that around where I am, or maybe even in the city that I'm closest to. It's probably still quite a new thing, whereas I think if you're in London, it's just kind of, oh yeah, someone's vlogging kind of attitude. Whereas here, I don't know, it would just feel a bit awkward and weird, so I'm open to it. I love the idea of us all going shopping together, so I will have a think about that and see if I can come up with anything. Next, I have this from Mandy. Hi Mandy. And Mandy said, I think seeing as the weather is getting warmer, you should do your desert island beauty must-haves. Face and body products, makeup, hair, tools and accessories, although we all know which brush you would choose. Well, I loved the idea of that so much that I don't think I'm going to probably cover it now. I think I will do a separate video on like my desert island beauty must-haves. I'm going to have a lot of fun filming that one, so I will film that at some point. It's on the list. I have just got one last question left, but oh, do I feel like I've been talking forever, so I hope you guys are still with me. This question is from Helen on Facebook, and she has asked me, because of my birthday approaching soon, what date is it please? My birthday is on the 18th of July, so it's really not very long now. But if you hadn't guessed already by the fact that I am a very kind of homely person, I am a Cancerian through and through. So yes, my birthday is the 18th of July. And that concludes the questions. Boy, oh boy, have I got a lot of editing to do in this one video. I really hope that you enjoyed my first ever Q&A. If I happen to miss your question, I'm really sorry. I think I managed to pull all my questions together because they were kind of scattered all over the place. But if I did miss your question, I'm really sorry. Let me know down below in the comments and I'll make sure I include it in part 2, because hopefully there will be a part 2 and you guys won't have fallen asleep and never want to know anything about me ever again. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, because it does really help support my channel. And if you are new and have actually made it to this point in the video and would happen to like to see more content from me in the future, then I will pop a button just here so you can click it and subscribe and get notified about new content as and when it gets uploaded. And if you've not seen my last video, I will pop a link to that one just up here so you can click it and check that one out too. Anyway, I hope you guys are all really well and I will see you again soon. Bye!